This is EdExcel P3 question from chapter 7, exercise 7b, which deals with integration. And 7b introduces the chain rule most of all. See? So let's first look at number A. If we're looking at the chain rule working with a sine function, so it just says integrate the following with respect to x. Well, we know that sine x integrates, if y equals sine x, then the integration of that will be negative cosine x. Okay. So we're working this direction. So the first thing we know is this is just going to change to be exactly the same. So far we have negative cosine. Everything inside the bracket is our x. Okay. But there's a function inside a function. So this is a version of a chain rule. And when you use the chain rule, you have to, furthermore, you have to, following this, also divide. So take a look at these little a values. We have to divide by the first derivative of what's inside the bracket. So we have to divide by the first derivative of this, which is going to be 2. Just explain that. So we have, if we had our function as y equals 2x plus 1, our dy dx is going to be 2. Okay. And that is where we're getting that from. So when working with this chain rule, just remember that you have to then divide by the first derivative of what's inside the bracket. So we end up with negative cosine 2x plus 1 divided by 2. To write this in another way would be negative 1/2 cosine 2x plus 1. And don't forget the plus c. So that's question 1a. Question 1b, another sort of application of the chain rule. So this is the, up at the top here, this is the chain rule in a different form. So if you want to look at that, this is just saying it's got, we're starting from f dash of x because we're starting from the derivative and we're working towards the integrand. We're going that way around. Okay. So B states 3e2x. So if we use the same way of thinking, if we had y(ex), then we know that the integrand is still going to be ex. So there's no problems there. We also know that if there's any value here, it just comes down. So it's exactly the same. Any sort of values, that takes care of the 3. The part that's new is this 2x is a function inside a function. So again, you have to divide by the first derivative of that 2x, which is just 2. So we end up with our integrand being 3e2x. So exactly the same, all over 2 plus c.